Welcome in 704 Unfiltered. It's good to have a name for the show. 704 Unfiltered. I'm Nick Servant. Jeb is here in studio with me holding it down. All right, so we got a special guest. I was going to say this is an exclusive interview. She rarely does interviews. And then I Googled her name and she does interviews. So it's not an exclusive, but she's a special guest.
Wow.
A mother, a business owner, archivist. Archivist. Did I say it right? I always mess that one up. Archivist. See?
Yeah.
You can. We're not going to delete that. We're going to keep that in.
We're
archivist.
a team.
Archivist. I've been saying archivist for
Everybody, even me, before I knew.
When did you correct yourself?
Oh, honey, in front of an archivist.
So it's archivist, ladies and gentlemen. Archivist. Okay. All right. I'm not ashamed.
In front of an archivist.
Players mess up too.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. Thank you for stopping by.
Good. I'm glad to be invited.
From Charlotte.
Born and raised, never lived nowhere else.
Born and raised. When you think of your childhood, what sticks out growing up here in Charlotte? I grew up in High Point, so we kind of
adjacent.
Yeah.
I think of Trade Wind skate ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think of Eastland Mall ice skating.
Mm.
I think of Midtown Square. I think of Freedom Mall, the sugar cookies at the end of the hall. I think of just like Charlotte feeling like a town.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of, all your cousins, and everybody you knew was on one side of town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just felt cozy to me growing up.
What does, I guess, follow up to that, what does Charlotte feel like now?
Oh, Lord, honey. Charlotte feels like Atlanta sometimes, New York,
You
LA.
think it feels like Atlanta?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Simply because it's like you would meet somebody and they'll say, oh, I've been here 2 years, 3 years. Or like, oh, yeah, I've been here 5 years. Like growing up in school, you didn't really meet new people like that had just moved to Charlotte. Like you grew up with people that was from Charlotte.
Right.
It wasn't really new people. You didn't really see new people. You didn't really see a bunch of nationalities or anything. So like it just feels like that because it's like more newcomers, I feel. And even today I went to work at another coffee shop. Sometimes I do that. And
we're gonna get to that.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm like, I felt like I was in Soho. I'm like, wait, this is not the Charlotte I grew up in. This is not even like Charlotte like 15 years ago. So it's like, wow, I love it, but I miss old Charlotte.
I was about to say, do you like it? I mean, I feel like you love your city, but do you like it? Because love and like are different things.
I love the opportunities that's available, but I'm so sad that my kids don't share the same sentiments. They're not going to share the same sentiments for the same reasons that I love Charlotte and grew to love Charlotte.
And you grew up in West Charlotte, right?
Oh yes.
So you went to what was it? West Charlotte High? West Mac? Okay.
On Tuckasegee.
Look, I'm still kind of newish here. I'm like 2 years here. So
you one of the people I'm talking about.
Don't do that. There's Jeb looking at me. I'm still kind of newish.
You one of the people
2 years.
2 years.
You one of the people I'm talking about.
Welcome. Thank you. I bounced around. I was in Raleigh. I was in Durham. I lived in Durham for 3 years. I lived in Atlanta for 2.5 years. High Point is home. Mm-hmm. I worked there for 2 years, and then I lived in Florence, Myrtle Beach for 2.5 years, 3 years.
That's nice.
So I kind of bounced around. So like it's hard for me. Like I'm still getting adjusted.
I love that, but that's Southern.
It is. No, I love it.
Yeah,
I couldn't see myself. I got a job offer in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Do y'all know where Scottsbluff, Nebraska?
No, but that sounds exciting.
Ago.
You didn't go?
No.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It's 36 hours away from home.
Even for a year, just for the plot?
I don't even know if it's going to be for a year. I couldn't even afford to get out there. I have a whole. I'll make it quick because this interview is not me. I had $400 into my name when I moved to South Carolina, and I moved in with my brother, who lives in Charleston, Somerville, outside of Charleston, and I commuted from Somerville to Myrtle Beach. That's 2 hours there. That's 2 hours back each day. And I had no money, so I lived with him. So I couldn't afford to go to Nebraska.
What kind of car was that? Because we got to promote that.
Oh, that car was a Mitsubishi Galant. It was a 2001 Mitsubishi Galant. It had 200,000 miles on it.
Shout out to
when I started there. So it had
when you started?
Yeah. So it had probably like about 300,000, 400,000
Oh, that thing need to go in the Hall of Fame. It carried you.
That thing cannot pass an emissions test to say. There you go. There it is. It's right there on the screen.
Oh,
Mitsubishi Glide.
That's what. Listen.
It was the red one.
Okay.
It was and it had like carpet seats.
Well, if we need something reliable, we know where to go. It got you.
You're
You here today?
I'm here today, thank God, but it's not going to get you the new sticker.
Okay.
So I mean, I had to kind of rig the system a bit.
Yeah, it's something.
It was kind of like having the overly tinted windows. You had to go to a guy.
Yeah,
to
know a guy.
You know a guy. You pay him $20 extra, $100 extra.
Looking all in there.
Like, all right. What was high school like for you?
Oh, high school was very different for me because I went into high school pregnant. I had my daughter at 15, the March of school starting. So I started in August, and then that March, I was a mom.
Wait. March what?
22nd.
Oh, okay. All right. This is a call back to a conversation we had on camera.
Yes. So March 22nd.
We don't have to get into
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was different for me. I mean, I felt loved and accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And I had known a lot of people in high school because those people went to Coolwood, which was my middle school or whatever. So everybody's still West Side. And I don't know if this was like, I would love to know the numbers of like teen pregnancy in 05 because I went to TAPS for a little bit, the teenage pregnancy school on Central. Like it was a school for us.
I'm trying not to
That's not funny. I'm telling you, TAPS. For real, like y'all gotta understand. So if it wasn't for TAPS, I'll tell you this. I breastfed my daughter for 16 months at age 15. Like I took a wooden pump. Now look this up. However you look the Mitsubishi stuff up. Look up a Medela wooden pump.
Don't put it on screen, Jay.
It's safe.
Okay.
A wooden pump, breast pump, a wooden pedal pump, one pedal foot pump with the cord.
Yeah.
You need to look this up because I need you to understand. I was carrying this in my book bag at 15.
But to your point, like, because you just said when you were in high school, we're the same age, right?
Yes.
So I feel like from 05 to 09, it was. I don't know if we had that conversation with our parents. Like
we did.
Yeah, like there was something missing.
It was.
There.
It was. The conversation wasn't there. And I tell people all the time too about just being a dreamer. At that age, we didn't have social media.
Right.
Like, and where I come from, you know, I didn't know entrepreneurs. The only entrepreneur I knew was my cousin Nisi, who owned a hair salon. Right. I didn't know a lawyer. I thought Tippins and Zarowski. I just thought that's the lawyer you call for anything. Yeah, you know, I didn't even know a lawyer personally. Yep. I didn't know a doctor personally. I didn't know anybody in like higher professional careers, you know, personally. So you aspire to like, you in the South, so you aspire to get married, have some kids, get you a good job, maybe a good government job at the bank, we in Charlotte, and work it, retire. So I think that was the missing piece too, is like not knowing that with you do, what's those, you pay later. Klarna and all that.
Yeah.
You can Klarna go to Greece right now.
Right.
You know, and my kids that's like 20 and 16, they know that as teenagers. So you think they want to have a baby now? Like that. So, but I think that was just a missing piece. We didn't really have the information to aspire.
Yeah.
Certain economic classes, and so you done stuff like that. Like people who I think I was thinking about it last night because I just recently framed some pictures of my mom. And she's gone. She's been passed for 11 years, but she was born in 1950, and she raised me in the 90s. So even that age gap there,
she was in her 50s or late 40s.
Yes, and she adopted me.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have experienced that love, but I do know that she only could give me what she had, which wasn't a lot. So it didn't allow my mind to like. It's like I didn't know I could be an archivist. I didn't know, like the first time I got on a plane I was 24. And then when I went to New York, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all these people here. You know, I feel like everybody, especially from the South, should see Times Square at least. It would do something to your mind. And so because I didn't have that information, I do feel like that was my circumstance. I'm blessed because of it, but I do know it's like, wow, our kids have to be exposed to things earlier.
Yeah, it's like they're growing up so quick. I see my niece and nephew. My nephew's 15. He looks like he's 25, but he's 15. I got a niece that's 12. And it's like they're just so much more, I don't know, like they're just into everything. And it's social media, it's all that stuff. Yeah. But it's right there in front of them. Let's take a quick break, and we're gonna. I got more questions for Miss Cheryse, owner of Archive CLT, archivist. I got it right. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back, 704 Unfiltered. I'm with Miss Cheryse Terry. You know, I get in trouble saying Miss. Because
No,
I get in trouble because they're like, you think I'm old?
Oh no, honey, I'm Miss.
Oh yeah, no, all right.
Yeah, I'm Miss.
I'm a Southern gentleman.
I like that. I love that. I'm a lady of a certain age.
We're the same age, by the way.
We the people of a certain age.
We're millennials.
Yes.
We got a Gen Z over here. We'll get into that later. So we were talking about that generational thing where millennials, we didn't know what it was like, especially growing up here, growing up black, growing up in the South, growing up in North Carolina. It was going to church. It was your parents had a full-time job. Mm-hmm. It might have been with a bank. It might have been with a chiropractor. Mm-hmm. It might have been with the hospital at the front. I'm calling out my mama right now. But yeah, it was going to college, getting a degree, and getting a career, a full-time job. But it wasn't being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it was.
When did that sort of enter your mind that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Am I missing some steps here?
Not really. I don't think I ever aspired to. I think I kind of landed on it. I think I had and still have more creative aspirations more than like business. Like, you know, I don't really aspire to be on the cover of Business Journal like, oh, Cheryse with 15 archives. Like, that's not really me. But I've always wanted autonomy. I've always wanted the ability to like create freely. And I think owning this type of business allows me to do that. Like I said, my cousin owned a hair salon. I always thought it was cool. You know, she got the ladies, she got the energy. And I mean, you go to barbershop or you go to one of those.
Oh no, I go to the barbershop
or salon suites, because you know now they got the suites. You
no.
Okay,
I go to old school barbershop.
You know, and so it's no energy that could duplicate that. You know that. And so I wanted to like replicate that in everything that I do. And so growing up feeling like, oh, I have a power to create something like that, that in itself was inspiring. But, you know, I did when in Rome, I did what the Romans did. And I have a background in banking. So after high school, I went straight into banking and worked there for a while. But I've always had entrepreneur endeavors. Like I made crafts. I did stationery, made cards. I learned how to make clothes. I used to sell at markets. Wow. And I've done the thing. So I've always liked what it feels like to connect with people and products face to face. And so a lot of those little ventures led me to what I do now.
How did you, I guess, go about? What made you say a coffee shop? And I guess I want to circle back around to you being an archivist. Like, how did that start? And how did you wind up with the coffee shop itself? That's a huge responsibility. Like,
it's such a huge responsibility. I think. So let's take you back to 2012. 2012 was my first business, Vintage Dreams. Okay. And I just knew from now to God called me home, honey, I was meant to be selling old dresses and Levi's jeans and stuff. I even got the tattoo right here for the like. Listen, you couldn't tell me this was the logo. I got it tattooed. I'm really about this. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do till I die. And so you kind of quickly learn, you might, the margin between that is not enough to feed me and a couple of kids, So I was like, okay, this is a hobby. And continued to work at the bank. Uh-huh. And then from Vintage Dreams, I always had a curiosity though, when I bought vintage garments and seeing how they were constructed, like how do they do that? So I took a class down at this sewing center, Charlotte Sewing Center on South Boulevard, just to know how to make the things. I've always had a natural curiosity. And so once I figured out my way around a sewing machine, there I was, ticking away. made dresses, put one online, started a little Etsy shop, and was able to like sell clothes there. And then I've always been a Lisa Frank kid, and I grew up with all the little password diaries and all the things. I love paper, love ephemera. So I started making greeting cards that had like little illustrations that was like nostalgic and stuff. I had Spice Girls on one, had a little Tamagotchi on the other. I was happy, people loved it. And so I think those was like me evolving in my entrepreneurship and my interest in like what would stick. When I came to think of Archive, I was laid off. I was, it was 2022, but I had been, This was post George Floyd.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, COVID, all that had done hit. And, you know, everybody was kind of really tapped in, like really like, where do we stand? So I had made some Black Girl Magic shirts and stuff. Those were selling and did that. But then I was with a friend hanging out one day and part about the archivist part. I'm an aspiring archivist. I do archivist work like freelance on my own, but like archivist is like a surgeon. You can't really just call yourself the thing. So when I say self-taught, I was like, I'm in the field. I'm amongst the greats, but I'm not the great. I'm not the thing yet. I'm aspiring to be the thing. Yeah, but I'm on my way. I'm gonna be it. And so, but the work. So when my mom passed, we had thrifted, you know, that was our life. Like you said, you grew up, you went to church. After church, we stopped at the Goodwill, see what finds we can get. And that was a bonding thing for us, but I didn't realize how valuable just the experience was and the quality of goods you find. So when she passed, I'm like, okay, what way can I feel more connected to her and her upbringing? And I didn't get to know or ask her because she died when I was 24. So that's when I started my ebony collection, collecting ebony magazines and just Black ephemera in the 70s. Fell in love with the fashion, the stories, and stayed there. But so I did that, and that was a hobby. That was a thing just for me. So side note, hanging out with a friend, we watching vintage videos all day, old BET videos, all Carl Thomas. You know, it's a whole day. We just lounging. You know,
okay, I'm
not. So we watching that. And I'm like, man, as a person that don't really club, you know, I drink occasionally socially. Where can we go during the day just to get this vibe? That's what I came to think. So I don't know. I'm like, man, I would love to hear these songs be around. So that's what sparked. That was the seed. Riding home, saw a space on Freedom Drive, called the number on the building, way out of anything I could think of price range. But the person was like, but I have another space that you might be interested in on Beatties Ford Road. But mind you, it's not like, oh, I have this business idea and I'm shopping for spaces. I had an idea, seen a number, was curious. So when he said, I'm like, I'm not even in the business of looking for a space or anything. I don't have an idea. I don't have a business plan on everything. But let me see. So I met him, went over there, and anybody who know me know I'm gonna talk about Rodney Faulkner. He is my like fairy godfather. He's like is the reason for Archive, I would say. And so we went over there, and it was closer to where I grew up, which I grew up on Hoskins Road, which is a few blocks down. And so when he told me the price, I was like, okay,
I can do this.
Yeah, like if God forbid anything happened, I could go down there and work down to the parking shop or down to the food line and pay the, you know, at least cover the rent. You know, I was like, okay, I could, you know, something can happen here.
You right there by food line.
Correct. You know, and so I really felt like I could really do this. And so originally I wanted to just say, you know, open a bookstore and a vintage store. You know, I'm such a fan of Black Market Vintage in New York. I love Reparations Club. I love all these places that I visited and love all over the country. I'm like, Charlotte needs this. Talked to Ronnie, told him my bright idea, like, I'm opening a bookstore. He was like, sweetie, that's grand opening, grand closing. Pop my balloon. You know how to pop the balloon show. Boom, instantly. Heart drop, dream killer. What? So you mean to tell me people not gonna come to Archive on a Tuesday and buy Ebony magazine at 10 in the morning? Like, no. Yeah, no. So he said, but you know, it's at the end of the shopping center is Chase Bank. He's like, that anchors it, and we were already looking for that space to kind of be a coffee shop. So if you want to add coffee in there, this and that third, I'm like, now. I don't really know about coffee. At the time, I wasn't a coffee drinker, honey. I'm Folgers JFG. Like, my mom grew up with that. I don't know nothing about it. So I was like, yeah, but no. Like, who, you know. So he put me in contact with Tony over at Enderley Coffee, who has a roastery, beautiful coffee shop in Tuckasegee, really supportive of our community, hires within our community. And so I was like, you know, I would love to do it. Like, if he's willing to teach me, I'll be willing to learn. And so, true enough, without any cost, Tony took me under his wing. I was able to train in his coffee shop. He walked me through how to purchase supplies or whatever. But first, these are all ideas. We still haven't talked about any of the money. No money.
So you're just learning just the foundation of making coffee.
I'm just ideating.
Okay, all right.
So when Tony started telling me how much everything was gonna cost, I knew how much the building was gonna cost. I had $500 in my name, like how you said you went down there for I had $500.
That's real.
Now, I don't know if you know anything about coffee, but sweetie, that espresso machine is like the price of that Mitsubishi when you first got it, probably. And so I had an idea to crowdfund $40,000 in 40 days. Mm-hmm. And so once I put the idea out there, I was like, I've been online for 10 years. Like you said, I've had, like I told you, I had all these other creative endeavors I've done, like selling clothes, selling greeting cards. Mm-hmm. So I do feel like if I put this out here, because it's such a need in our community over there, that I feel like people will get behind it and support it. Mm-hmm. March rolled around. My homegirl, she's a professor out of Davidson. I wrote all this stuff, oh, my mama died, and oh, I'm from West Charlotte, and all this, told my whole life story. She just was going to edit it so I could put on there. Honey, she highlighted everything and pressed delete. I said, again, another dream queen, and I'm not exaggerating. I had stayed up all night. This was like, and it was emotional. And she said, no. She said, your idea is good enough. She said, you don't need to even sensationalize your own story. You'll be able to tell your story. Mm-hmm. She said, the idea by itself is good enough. So she helped me structure, and I think it was like maybe 5 or 6 slides. I'm raising $40,000 for 40 days. Here's why. I told the people what their money was going to go to. Right. I had already itemized the machines, the plumbing, all that stuff, electrical, all that stuff. Why I'm not a person to do it. Born and raised in Charlotte from West Side. Just giving people, like, this is where your money going to go. Yeah. Within 3 days, I already had raised $15,000. It had been shared over 2,000 times, was able to get the whole 40, and here we are today, 3 years open. But I knew then, and I know now, that like Archive is like bigger than like a cool coffee shop. The space that it holds. I was having a conversation with somebody last week and was saying, we open these businesses, black owned, and they be nice, and we open stuff, but we don't really cater, not that we should only, but we're not really inclusive of baby boomers. We think about curating for millennials and Gen Z, but older people that's retired, they want to go somewhere nice.
Right, they're retired.
They feel like it's theirs. Yeah, they feel like it's theirs and it's belonging. And I feel like that's the thing that Archive does. Archive is a place that you could take your grandma and your little sister, and everybody would have a good time. Right. And so I wanted, like you said, we grew up in church. I grew up in church kid, 5-7 days a week. My mom was a trustee. Yeah. I was on usher board, YPD, everything. And that was a place where you seen elders and you seen kids, and it was programming, and it was just love all the way around. And so, I'm sorry to talk so long, but
no, you're good.
That is the story of how Archive came to be. And so it really was like, people say, oh, community. No, it was like I raised money from the community and opened the thing. I've had people come from Chapel Hill area crying in tears. They little $10 got Archive open. They like, oh my God, they donated $10. And
that's not a short drive for folks who are not familiar with the state.
It's not.
It's not a short drive.
And it was a year after we opened. And when they walked in, people do get emotional. Archive is a beautiful place. Yeah. But this person in particular was like, I donated $10 to this when you was crowdfunding. So it's so crazy how they felt a personal connection. WCNC was the first news story to cover.
Talk about it.
Was the first to cover Archive. So they found the story on GoFundMe when I was crowdfunding. And if you go back and find the thing, I was standing outside, hadn't even got the keys yet because I hadn't raised the money yet. And I was like, oh, if you donate, this will be the new home. I'm outside touching
now I got to go
window.
Find the story and
you
send it to
find
you.
It. I'm touching the window. And that's the one that got my landlord to call and say, hey, this is kind of fraud. You're going to have to sign a lease because you on the news saying that you raised money for this space that you don't have. I'm like, oh. So, I had to, that rushed me to sign a deal because for real, it was like I was advertising that this was opening and I hadn't even signed a lease yet.
Yeah, we did a Black History Month story. I don't want to spoil it, but depending on when this interview comes out, it's at Archive. We shot it at Archive. And I just got so caught up in everything in a good way that's going on that you have there, and I'm just like, that's dope. What is that? And then I think in behind our interview subject. I don't want to reveal who it is, but we had a big picture of Cheryse in the Charlotte Hornets jersey, the Black Excellence jersey, which is dope. And we're gonna get to that. Let's take a quick break. I got more questions to ask Miss Cheryse Terry, owner of Archive CLT, when we get back from break. Welcome back, 704 Unfiltered. I'm here with Miss Cheryse Terry, owner of Archive CLT. So as you were saying, you WCNC was doing the story. You outside, pointed to the window, keys not even in hand.
No, not even. Landlord on my line.
How long did it take for you to get from, I guess,
crowdfunded started at the end of February or March, and open August 2022, same year.
Wow. Did it feel long? Did it feel fast? I mean, what?
It felt right on time because as things were getting done, like it was a process. So we had to do plumbing, had to do the electric, the machines came in, the murals got done. So like every phase, I was able to like allow members of the community, my friends, creatives, to come. Like I had paper on the window, but I was able to like allow people to come and see the process and like pour into me and like just to, like slowly take my time getting it done. So it felt right on time. Like it still feels right on time. I think people like, oh, you need another one. It's like, this not really about that.
Right.
Yeah, this not about that.
What's your favorite thing about Archive CLT? Like, it could be a piece, it could be, it could probably be a person, or maybe the routine. What's your favorite thing about
the spirit in Ken Kuntz? Ken is like everything to me.
I want to meet Ken Kuntz.
You haven't met Ken?
I've never met Ken Kuntz.
You have to meet Ken Kuntz. Like he's the first Black newscaster.
Oh, I know.
He's everything. You got to meet him. So he's everything, and he came to Archive. Heard it opening. We got to talking. He has ties to the neighborhood. His dad was a teacher at Johnson C. Smith. He graduated from there. Like even though he's from Texas, he'd love to tell you that, but he is Charlatan for real. And so, like hearing his passion, he had a PR firm here. He had his own satellite truck. Like went down, covered Katrina. Like his lifespan being involved, have seen so much. Brought Shirley Chisholm here for like it's like just so much. So I say meeting him saved me 10 years of networking because because he loved Archive so much. The month after Archive opened, he had a little birthday celebration there. That's his birthday in September. All his friends came, and of course they sent all their grandkids. All his friends, like his friends be like the older ladies and stuff, they gifted me Chanel dresses from their closet. Like, it's different. It's different. That's why like Archive is just not, it is different because there's not even me, because I hate when people center me when it comes to Archive.
Yeah.
I am grateful to have been a vessel for the Lord and being a steward of this idea that needed to come through me. But Archive, people needed that. Like people needed a space they could come in, laugh loud, be they self, don't have, like for real. Not on like, oh, I'm just coming in, it's a vibe. Like not that. It's just like being at your cousin's house. And then if you're not from Charlotte, you coming in, you meeting your people. Or you coming in and people gonna ask you, oh, what you do? But not what you do to like size you up or like do respectability politics with you. They'll be like, oh, okay, my niece was that. Or okay, do you know such and such? But in a not a stoic networking type of way, like a you bring your cousin friend to the cookout and it's like, okay, where you from? Okay, what you do down there?
That's a Carolina thing. That's a North Carolina thing. Where you from? Where you came from?
Yes. What high school you went to? You from Charlotte? What high school you went to?
I asked you that. I was like, what high school?
And so to create a thing that's come through me, that's from Charlotte, that feels so Charlotte, but feels so Black, but feels so inclusive, is like, that's my favorite thing, the soul of it. And that's why I'm just weary about a part 2, like a second location, because I don't know if you could duplicate something so good like that. And it's location in historic Washington Heights in the store. Yeah, in over there. And it's just.
You got Friendship down the street, Friendship Baptist Church down the street, historic church.
Yes, it is. Batesford Road, man. And so I'm just honored and blessed to be in a legacy of like all the business owners. Excelsior was there. It's just Rudines was there. So being in a place where like we always had businesses that thrive, it's like, oh, darn, I'm like with the greats. Cool.
When you read compliments about yourself, like Mike spoke so highly of you, Mike Jones. Mike Jones. The real Mike Jones.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. I don't think Jeb knows.
It's okay. After this, we're gonna tell Jeb.
Jeb, do you know?
Who? Mike Jones?
Mike Jones.
We're gonna tell you. We're gonna put you on though. You good? You good? We got you.
I'm looking forward to it.
We did.
You're Gen Z. That's why.
We did Google. We did Google Mike Jones.
Okay.
And Mike Jones.
We found him eventually.
No. But the first person that we saw.
Yeah.
That's who we're referring to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
He looked a little before my time.
No, in short, we'll say that his main song. Every time he do a song, they say who,
Mike Jones?
And they say Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. So if anybody Mike Jones, you say who, and they do it twice.
I'm Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones.
Yeah, we'll show you.
Man.
Yeah, we'll
if you know, you know.
It was a cultural moment.
But do you think you ever get to the point that there might be a second location?
No, I think how we was talking about the archivist journey for me.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college, so this year, on my to-do list, I really want to sign up and get a bachelor's. Like I'm passionate about going to school. Like I want to go to school. I dream about it. Like I want to go to school so bad. I really want to be an archivist. I want to actually like go to school at Central. I want to go to Durham and go to school there. They have a good library science program. And I think, like you said, we're 36, so my 40s, I might still have archive, but I want to really be doing digitizing work in the community. I really want to make sure that our family legacies are secured. I didn't touch on this earlier, but shortly after my mom passed, my childhood home burned down. So all my personal relics are gone, like childhood pictures. I only have what's been collected by other family members and stuff. And so a fire, a fire can happen. It happened in California. Floods. Think about Asheville. If right now, wherever your childhood family pictures are stored, if those things aren't digitized and something happened to the home it's in, it's gone. Yeah. And we have the technology to do that. And so I think deeper than like archivist being a businesswoman, I really want to make sure that our communities that's being displaced or just vulnerable elder people being moved around, people passing, that we have our memorabilia secured. And so I really want to go learn how to do it the standard way, like library standard, museum standard, and take that back to the community and be able to build community archives in that way.
What have you learned about yourself since opening the business?
Oh, you're so sweet. Wow. I learned I'm not as social as I thought I was.
Welcome to the club.
Yes, like man, and it makes me so sad though. It's like it's an insecurity of mine because I am social, but like when you forced to be social, or if it's demanded of you, and you have expectations to like be present all the time, it's really sometimes it do something to you. Like in archive, I have like a 6-foot banner of the archive story, and when I'm working, sometimes I'm gonna be behind the counter. Like I think when you see me, I was barista, honey. I was making the drinks. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and so you'll be surprised at people who will read that banner and then say, "So how glad you open this?" And that'd be like the 20th time somebody asked you that today, and you can't be nasty, or like you just popped in real quick to drop off some milk because the barista said we short, and oh my God, the delivery ain't here till tomorrow, and I just dropped my kids off of school, and I got on a hoodie, and somebody's like, take a picture with me. I just came from Charleston. My sister told me to come here, and he's like, you kind of don't want to, but how can you not?
Right.
And so I think like having archive, being a black business owner, it means something different than when you go to our counterparts and they open a coffee shop. No one cares who the owner is. They're like, oh, this is nice. And you come again and patronize. But sometimes black brick and mortar owners, we have this responsibility of like being a figure. you know, and now people name me a community leader, and I'm not that at all. I'm a business owner that have a business in proximity of community, and we foster community in the space, but I myself am not a community leader. And people have called me that, and they see me as that because of the type of business I have and where I have it. And so I think I've learned that, like, man, I love my people, but I love my people.
It's okay to feel like that, though.
Yeah,
I think we got to normalize that.
Around it. It's a guilt.
Why do you have to feel guilt?
Because you feel ungrateful. And then you got to think, I crowdfunded the money.
Yeah.
So imagine me thinking I'm something, or don't feel like being bothered, don't feel like talking, and these people that gave they $15. And 3 years later, I still owe them that.
But here's what I'm learning, and I'm learning this. Shout out to my therapist. I'm learning. I always shout them out. You know, I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yeah.
You know, we can't carry guilt, and look, we human. Like there's some days. Look, I have off days. Jeb thinks I'm superhuman sometimes. I don't have off days, but
you know, superhuman, dude.
We flip on a switch and we're on go. But it's okay if we don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's okay if we feel bad. It's okay if we feel great.
Yeah.
It's cool. Let's roll with it.
I received that. I don't want it to be to where, imagine it's your first time at Archive and you just here for the day, and it was on your to-do list to come to Charlotte, and then you have a subpar experience. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that to nobody, because it's like, yeah, it's about me, but it's like not really. And then you got to think, and I know, I mean, we Black History Month's here, so it's like, now people were sitting at the counters getting punched, and I'm talking about I don't feel like talking. Like, now I can't. I'm sorry.
But we're dealing with a different set of times. We're different. We can't compare. You know what I'm saying? And this stuff I'm learning too. I'm reminding myself, right, of this stuff.
Help me.
But I got to ask you, how do you recharge? You're a businesswoman.
Oh.
You're an archivist. You're a mom. How do you recharge?
Honey, everybody was mad about the snow days, not me. Baby, when I tell you that robe, and I sat up and watched the whole series of, y'all got to watch His and Hers on Netflix.
I finished it. Did you already finish
it?
No.
Oh,
I'm in the middle of it. I don't know about you guys.
I finished
I ain't gonna tell you.
it.
I knew who it was. I'm gonna just tell you that. I knew who it was. For real. But anyway, I knew who it was.
Shout out In the Heat of the Night, man.
Listen, I knew who it was.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I do my tea. I do my hot lemon water. I read. Jeb see me, pick me up from the lobby. I got my book. I'm gonna talk to my book. I got my book with me, and and my children know they're older, so they on TikTok or whatever. They're doing what they do. They don't really want to feel like being bothered, and so I'm able to curl up on the couch and do that. I'm able to. I shower with candlelight and have my incense burning. Miles Davis going. I feel like I'm in a spa. You know, I create what they say. The girlies say, romanticize your life. I really do that. Everything be something. And so I just have those moments to myself and journal, and then I'm able to okay, it's time to go out. Like today was the first day I put on the brassiere and got out in days.
But outside of the winter, look, I mean, there are days where it's life where, man, we can't catch a break as far as a winter storm. Outside of that, how do you unwind? How do you recharge? Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there that don't know they don't know.
That's true. Well, Archive is closed on Wednesday.
Okay, all right.
So I don't even answer the phone if it's business related. That's step one. That's business related. And I over the years I have learned to put boundaries in place. So when I first opened a business, you don't really feel comfortable saying no to anything. You don't want to offend nobody. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity. But 3 years in, it's kind of like, okay, I know what I need to have at the end of the month. I know what type of cultural impact I want to have, a community impact I want to have. So I have a clear set of goals, and if it aligns with that, then I go with it. And if it don't, I don't say no to it, but I table it, and I'm able to be confident and say, hey, not right now. Even if it's just that I know I want to come home and straight read my book or just be with my kids or do something. I don't mind putting those boundaries in place to do that.
You know, when I walked in the Archive, this is another callback to late 90s, early 2000s, Jeb. It was kind of like if I was on the show Moesha, I thought I was walking into Andale's.
Thank you. That's such a compliment. Everybody say that, and I love that.
But Andale's was a spot, right? You had Jodeci performing. You had, and for your instance, you have like Real Estate and Roast there. Former Governor Roy Cooper there recently announced, well, not recent, but is running for Senate. When were you comfortable opening up your spot to people to have a voice, have a platform, have somewhere to go to meet? When were you comfortable doing that?
Almost immediately.
Okay.
Again, I felt like it was the responsibility because of how I acquired the space. So as long as it don't go against my personal values, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time, Archive is a rental space. Like, at the end of the day, I know people call it community space, but sweetie, it's not the library. My landlord need his money at the end of the month. And again, talking about boundaries and how I said, you have to, people like, oh, I got this cool idea. I want to shoot it there for the community. But if Archive grand opening, grand closing, darn, I like that space. Yeah, but you wanted to use it like a library. Like, we have a rental fee. So most times Archive is like for rent. And if that aligns with my vision, then I will allow you to have your event there for a fee. However, it is some initiatives that I align with. And again, it's not always about money. Sometimes in situations, money is cheap.
Yeah.
And it's a barter system, or it's, they've scratched your back, so you scratch theirs. So whatever's in alignment with Archive and its missions and what it means to the West Side, then I'm comfortable. And I was comfortable early on opening it up for that reason.
Do you see it as a business where you could pass it down to your daughters one day?
Oh, they hate Archive.
Oh, they hate Archive.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
You catch my middle daughter, she works in there. She's in high school.
Okay.
So, she's like, whatever. I have to pay her to, like, all the employees is every 2 weeks. My child, at the end of her shift, she wants her money tax-free. So I think my girls aren't as social as I.
Yeah.
But I think the legacy of Archive will be passed down to them. And God forbid he called me home. I think the proper people will be put in place so Archive can go on. But don't expect to see the girls.
Shout out to them. Yeah. Jeb, we good on time?
Yeah, we could probably do a couple final thoughts.
Okay. I got a couple of just quick. I kind of did this before with another guest. Last thing you played or streamed music wise? What's on your playlist? Last thing you played?
Every single day of my life, come hell or high water, I play Kinda Blue by Miles Davis. That's my favorite album of all times.
I just want to shout out John Coltrane. He's from the city.
Yes.
He's from the city of High Point, by the way.
He is.
There you go. Favorite place to eat in Charlotte?
Supperly.
Okay.
On Central Avenue.
Yeah, no, I thought you were about to say why.
Oh, because that Branzino is 10 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah,
and then and P.O. But Yafo, I can eat that every day of my life until I die.
You ain't lying.
Every day. And I'm just ashamed to show you my DoorDash orders. And I ain't going to say it out loud, but trust and believe I got more points than anybody.
I love Yafo. Oh, man, you ain't
Honey,
lying.
them beets and that salmon. And I tell them and do the cooked falafel. Yeah.
You ain't lying about. Oh
Yafo
man, now I'm about to. I think I'm about to go to Yafo for dinner. Favorite person in Charlotte? Who is your dog? Who is your person? Who is? It's just when you connect with that person, memories flood back. You just connect with them like. All that stuff. Who's your favorite person?
Too many to name. No one is above my children, so I love them. I love being around them. They're like little versions of me, and it's like cool. And they so cool, and I just love them. They have vibe. They girls, and it's just like a little girl group. I love it. Additional to them, I have two best friends, Keisha and Shay. And like, when your mom used to come, I don't know if this happened to you, I hope it did. And you too, Jet, like when your parents come unexpected, only in elementary, because middle school and high school you hate this,
right.
But they come unexpected to eat lunch with you.
Oh, yeah.
And you like, oh my God, McDonald's. You ain't feel like, when my best friends come in the Archive, I tear up because they have my location and they get together and then they come there and like in the middle of the week. And every single time without fail, I don't know, my spirit be so heavy, I be stressed. And then I see them come, I'm fighting back tears. I'm like, I'm a mess. So I love them. I love being around them. Like we met at the bank. We was working at the bank together. And they are who keeps me going. I just love them so much.
See, my mom used to pop up at school, but it wasn't for McDonald's. It's because the teacher called and said Nick was up.
Yeah, he
in
the point with
the
principal.
My mom would be in the window like, yeah, come out here real quick.
I got a whooping in 5th grade for changing my clothes. Let's Miss Cato. Miss Cato, why'd you call my mama? I hope she's still with us. So I can say, Miss Cato, you didn't have to call my mama and tell her I had on that spaghetti string shirt.
Yes, you did, Miss Kate. Last one. I'm kind of bouncing around on this one. I'll go with this one. What's next? Not just with, I mean, you talked about Archive, but what's just next personally? I'm scrolling through a list of questions right now.
What's next is me going to get my ADHD diagnosis so I can so I can get on the right track.
Okay.
And then from there, signing up for school. I really want to make that next and commit time to doing that. And continue my fitness journey. I started that like on the like a little year ago. And so, you know, we head into our 40s. So it's like now we're preparing for 70. So we got to kind of, we are. Like whatever we do now affects 70. We can't just throw away our life now and expect
it just
to be
hit me
healthy.
like a ton of bricks.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
like, all right.
So really understanding what a healthy lifestyle is for me and being strict about it.
Well, I'm running a half marathon, so let's go ahead. You
Where?
down?
I hold a poster for you.
It's Myrtle Beach in
I
March.
can come hold a poster for you. You said March?
Yeah, it'll be my second one.
I won't run with you, but I could commit to being on the
Come on.
sidelines.
I thought she was committed to the.
No, I said healthy. Words have power. I said healthy lifestyle for me. A half a marathon, honey, that's for you. And I can be with the board for you.
You know what? We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Miss Cheryse, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hopefully you had a good time here on the show.
Beautiful time. Thank y'all.
704 Unfiltered. Look, we do this weekly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. We'll be back. I promise. I'll see you next week.